This is episode 51 of the Rise Up podcast. We're a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. Our podcast is a weekly conversation that will help you think and grow in your faith. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode, and find out more about our show at familylife.org.
You're not late. You're right on time, and we're glad you're here. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Uphill, both ways to and from school in the snow, right? All that snow, but wait a minute, there's too much snow. You can't go to school.
Oh, it's a snow day!
It's a snow day! Memories of snow days, and it seems appropriate this time of year. Tim, memories of snow days.
Well, once upon a time, when the radio network of Family Life was a little bit smaller, it could cover on air all the different areas that were doing cancellations. So I definitely remember sitting around the kitchen counter, listening eagerly. Please say our school, please say our school, please say our school. And then they say the school, it's a snow day, they cancel school.
Wow.
Now, that was only a couple times. I mean, really, we would just listen for the dramatic effect. Because since my mom was a school teacher, we kind of had we already knew, but it was just way more fun to hear it on the radio. There was always like that little special jolt, like the snow day. So you knew it meant a little more work. Like, it's not like you're totally off the hook here. You got shoveling to do, man. You got a lot of shoveling to do. I mean, if you're going to get a snow day plus a 2-hour delay the next day, which that's like the real bonus if you can nab one of those, getting both of those together, it's like, all right, this is great. And let's get to work because we got a lot of shoveling to do. That was good memories. Me and the brothers waiting for that snow day. Come on, let's hear them say it, snow day.
It's so funny because you mentioned listening for your town, and I grew up in Dryden, New York, which sounds an awful lot like DeRuyter, New York. Oh. And I don't know why, but I swear during my young childhood, DeRuyter always had snow days and Dryden never had snow days. I don't know if it has to do with busing or maybe we're just a hardier breed in Tompkins County. I don't know, but I remember listening and you would hear "duh," and you were like, come on. And it would be not my school. Like, I feel like we never had snow days.
That hurts.
It's a painful thing when your school district sounds an awful lot like one that always cancels.
It's funny when people listening right now, whether they grew up in different parts of the country or, people move around and maybe they moved here. You always hear that thing because around New York and Pennsylvania where there can be a lot of snow, people take care of the roads very well. And many times in many areas, even though there's a lot of snow, there's still school because they've taken care of the roads, depending how much snow.
Right.
There are other parts of the country that aren't prepared for that. And maybe they grew up in this part of the country where we went to school no matter what. You didn't get school called off. And then you move to another part of the country and they have like an inch of snow.
Or a spoonful falls.
Spoonful. Or a spoonful is predicted. And they go, no, we can't have school. And you're thinking like, wait a minute. We went through all kinds of things with snow days. I remember the same thing as you guys do, just listening for your school. And then when it was announced, that was great. It was like Christmas Day. It was exciting.
Did either of you ever have a snow day in college?
Yes.
Oh, those were the literal best.
So cool. Like where it's so bad, they're like, we don't even want you walking.
Right.
Also, professors aren't going to come in today.
Well, because the professors wouldn't come in, but then the quad just became like a huge snowball fight.
Yes, exactly. We had one where the balcony, our dorms, there was an outdoor balcony where you'd get into your rooms. The snow plows had plowed up so much snow that students literally made a slide out of snow from the top balcony outdoors down to the parking lot. That kind of got shut down by campus safety pretty quickly. But boy, was it fun while it lasted.
Oh, and then there's my poor kids. Of course, they homeschooled most of their years, and it didn't matter if there was school or not. In fact, I would try to keep them from finding out. And it was before like everybody was on Instagram or whatever, and so it was like if I didn't have the radio on and I didn't have the TV on, they wouldn't know that school had been canceled, like unless somebody texted them or something. And I would always say, well, it doesn't matter because we're still having school. And I would try to tell them, just remember this come May when all your friends are still in school and you're done and you're on vacation, because we were the family that we even did school like Christmas week because it just kept them like busy during Christmas week. And then I would say, don't worry, you'll get that time off like later in the year. But yeah, there was always that kind of thing where it's like snow days. Of course, with some schools and the calendar, if you take too many snow days, then they start adding days of school on at the end of the year. And it's like, that's the worst, right?
Yeah, that's cruel.
Now, as a parent, I'm going to fast forward a little bit, okay? After the excitement of a kid snow day, I always had a higher appreciation for parents that had more than 2 kids, because we had 2 kids, but when they were younger, as they were going outside for the snow to enjoy the snow, I quickly learned that it's sometimes, they'd be out playing in the snow, and then it's time to come in, and all their snow gear is all wet and that kind of thing. So you have to take them out of their snow thing, and that takes a while. And this is just 2 kids, and you finish all that. And by the time you finish getting all the snow gear off of them and them dried out, you guess what you hear next? Can we go out again? It's like, it's time to go all over again. That's just with 2 kids. I'm thinking, what happens when there's 4 or 5 or 6 kids in the house? Wow.
Right. It's funny as we come into this season where there's undoubtedly more snow in our future. You may have mixed feelings about it. I remember hearing the song Indescribable that was made popular by Chris Tomlin, but it was written by Laura Story. And one of the verses says, "Who has told every lightning bolt where it should go, or seen heavenly storehouses laden with snow?" And when I was very early in my time with Family Life, I had a chance to interview Laura Story, and we were talking about writing songs. And I said, "Where do you come up with such dramatic imagery?" And she was like, the Bible. And I just hadn't spent enough time in the book of Job to remember the part about the snow. Have you entered the storehouses of snow or seen the storehouses of hail? And so, yes, that snow you see, it is biblical. That is from Job 38:22. There's not a flake that falls that God doesn't know about, or a snow day that he has not ordained.
Feel free to stick around a while. We love it when you're here. This is Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Nice, relaxed, super chill new year. Maybe that's what you resolved for this year. No more stress. I don't need any stress in my life. Well, that might not be the best for you, believe it or not. Stress, they say, is good for your brain. Just a little bit of stress. Okay, because stress pushes us out of our comfort zone.
Right.
No stress, we get to stay in our comfort zone. Everything is good, right? But a little bit of stress forces us to grow our minds. So without a little stress, well, your mind's going to be right back in the 3rd grade.
Hey. Quit staring at me when you say that. Both of you.
I didn't stare at you at all. My eyes are closed. It's like you're back in the 3rd grade.
I know you are, but what am I?
Of course we're happy. You're here. Why wouldn't we be? Thanks for listening to Rise Up on Family Life.
You walk into an elevator and all of a sudden the door closes and you're like, woo, that's a strong, not that it's bad, but it's very, very strong perfume. Very, very, very strong.
Yeah.
And that's going to be different for everybody, but that's one of the many, many things that you might be being rude and you don't know it. There was a long list. That was just one of them.
Right.
By the way, I've never been rude. I don't smell that good. Also, another one I do.
Also, you never take elevators.
Well, that's true. I mean, I have. Not recently, but I have in my time. One thing I learned as a kid, but it's also rude to chew with your mouth open. You don't do that. But here's the number one thing on the list is that that cell phone thing you have in your hand there, having it on speaker and talking in public. When you're at a place, maybe a doctor's office or something, and the
drives
speaker
me nuts. Not everybody needs to hear about the gout.
Exactly. I'm talking about personal things on that. That's
you talk louder too when you're talking on speakerphone. Right. It's always like nobody can hear you, so everybody needs to hear you.
Right.
That's how speakerphone works.
So
I've never seen it that color before.
So just as maybe a spiritual lesson here today. If you're in an elevator and you put on a lot of perfume and you're having lunch and chewing with your mouth open and talking to your friend on the cell phone, ask for forgiveness, please, right now. Ask for forgiveness.
Facing a whole new day is a lot easier when you remember that God is in charge. You're listening to Rise Up on Family Life.
Chuck E. Cheese. You remember Chuck E. Cheese?
Chuck E. Cheese.
I can be a kid.
Plenty of birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, man. No, that's funny.
Kids.
You took your kids there.
Oh, yeah.
I was the kid who went to Chuck E. Cheese. Now, they're still around. Like, they still exist.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what isn't going to for much longer, the dancing, animatronic, life-size characters.
No.
They were kind of creepy. I'm not even going to lie.
All right. That's some of the charm.
Okay.
The
I won't be
creepy is some
sad
of
that
the
they're
charm.
gone.
The outdated creepiness is some of the charm. I just found out this TikTok video. An employee, he's loading the last update for these dancing animatronics. The update for it still gets loaded in, by the way, on a floppy disk. So that tells you a little something about how, maybe creepy, outdated. But phasing them out, I'm thinking, wow, nostalgia being what it is. I'm thinking, I'd love to be back there, sitting there watching a dancing animatronic mouse as I eat my pizza and feel. Is it too late to be a kid again?
I want to go back. I've never had the. Oh boy, I so want to go. You made me want to do my. You talk about a bucket list of things I want to do. To just imagine me today going into a Chuck E. Cheese and jumping in that ball pit. Wanted to do that.
I'll be the mom over on the side going, Timothy, eat your pizza. Steve, get out of that ball pit.
Thanks for making us part of your morning routine. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Wacky WD-40.
Is that what the W is for?
No. It's actually for water displacement / 40th.
Come on.
It is. Water displacement 40.
Wow.
They tried 39 other ones. Maybe you know that story. They tried 39 other formulas. Didn't work. And then finally the 40th. So that's where it gets its name. But there are so many uses for WD-40 that you don't even think of. I probably use mine more for a squeaky door kind of thing. That's the number one use. But it has other things. Like, for instance, if you have railings somewhere in your house and you have birds or pigeons or something that goes... It's a repellent for you just spray the stuff on your railings and it keeps the pigeons.
They slip right off like,
I was about to say, they're probably going a little, whoop. That's the sound they make too.
Yeah.
pigeons.
And the other, it just keeps them away. They don't like it. So anyway, the other thing is, and you haven't had to use it lately in this area, but some have, it also, if you spray it on your snow shovel, it keeps the snow from sticking to your...
Yeah, you like when you lift up the shovel, the snow just goes...
Yep.
It's a lot like a pigeon in that regard.
Exactly. Yeah.
D40.
That's where it got its name.
That's the W.
Well, hello and good morning. Thanks for starting out your day with Steve, Terese, and Tim. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Rise Up when we're live on the radio. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. Usually pretty good about that. But when we're recording something behind the scenes and it doesn't go according to plan, it gets a little silly. But it's the kind of silly we thought maybe you'd enjoy getting to hear. It'll be a fun Friday with you, starting at 6 on Family Life.
If you just can't get warm, you need to...
You need me.
On Family Life.
Edit that part out.
Okay.
If you just can't get warm, you need to see this lady. This lady?
Little.
Yeah, lady.
Wait, is it Toodles? What is it? The Matuda.
Okay, one more prayer, please. One more prayer. Okay.
Dear Lord, please take control of Steve's tongue.
Okay. And if you just can't get warm enough, you need to see this one lady in particular. You'll find out who at 6:15.
And some people have started this? What? That's at 9:15 on Family Life's Rise Up.